Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hearthstone. So we need 2 more mage victories and cast 14 more spells. So we're gonna just stick with mage, but let's switch to ranked standard mage play and try that. We also want to try to get up on ranked, so that's also something here. I'm talking. I spent most of last recording talking about Harry Potter, and I'll probably get back to it because I actually didn't even make my way in my ramblings towards the topics I was going to talk about.
Light shall bring victory.
I want to cover some other things here. So let's see. Twitch plays chess with a world champion and wins is the title of this article I read. What happened is Twitch played against the champion one time against roughly, I think, 500 people. Then he played blindfolded against about 600 people a second time, and he won that one too. And then on the third one, which I did not see if that was all back to back, but if it's a Twitch stream, you almost have to think it is. Then he was probably just getting tired at that point, or just didn't want to do this anymore. It may very well also have been that it was prearranged that by the third one he was going to lose anyways. So he was playing against 600 people on Twitch and he lost. So does that mean anything? Not really. I mean, 600 people, all is 600 opportunities for any one of them to be a master level chess player themselves. 600 people is also all the opportunities in the world for one of them to cheat. So I don't know what you could really get from that. As far as chess goes, long since computers have been able to outplay humans playing chess. Even now, they thought it would be decades before computers would be able to outplay people who play Go, which is much more complicated, they say, than chess, and it's not the case. They do beat them now, so not really anything like that. Anybody could have been on that Twitch stream putting in the moves, asking the computer what move to make, and then they would have gotten good response. I'm not sure exactly how that would work, too. That's a secondary thought, is how does it decide which of them, probably multiple inputs that people are saying. Like, there would be people saying, move the pawn, move the king, move the queen. How would it do that? It must do it by concession.
Is someone injured?
And if it was doing it by concession, like whoever voted the most, then the majority of people saying something would then have to all be cheating, which I wouldn't be surprised really if 200 of the 600 players were all cheating, getting the same responses, putting the same recommended things. Let's see, can I do this and this? I can do this.
I serve the fire lord.
Can I light your fire? Cooking time.
The GTX 970 lawsuit website allegedly is out. Hopefully I didn't just put my info into the wrong website. That was certainly a concern. And it's supposed to get me $30 back, and I'm not holding my breath because I was supposed to get a $30 rebate when I bought the card, and that never showed up either. So, yeah. We try, but we know it's not. I'm not betting my next meal on that return. And $30 is not the payout that I feel like should have come about from something of this. Frankly, it's silly to say, but life is hard, and if you want to punish a company for lying, the punishment needs to be so large that it hurts their bottom line, and most of these things don't. So, and any punitive damages, punishing damages, need to also benefit those who were lied to.
A tale of glorious redemption.
I feel like I should be getting a 1070, not $30. Honestly, I think they should send every single one of us a 1070. If not a 1080, if not a Titan X, I think they should have to give us something that is equivalent to what we thought we were purchasing, and which would have been a 4 gigabyte video and modern, so not just a 980. Now that 980s aren't really worth.
Can I light your fire?
As much. So, now, of course, this all comes from a line of greed here. Is that I want a 1080 that would help my channel, but also totally that this is the only thing that's going to make a company think twice about false advertising is if they really suffer. They're not really suffering for $30, and it's all going to the lawyers anyway. Is the real money.
Put this apple on your head.
So that whole thing is just BS. And like I said at the beginning, life is hard, and we kind of need to start inviting these jackpots in life that help the common man, just to balance it out against these corporations who have been taking from people and ripping off people for hundreds of years. And we need to balance the income a little bit here. And I am slightly happy to think more people these days than 10, 20 years ago, at least, are coming around to that mentality. They've really seen life in the and how difficult it is these days, and they're starting to recognize the need for a rebalancing. Where 10, 20, 30 years ago, we were on a big financial boom. Everybody felt like they were rich, even though they weren't, and they certainly weren't thinking about these things. Moving on to other BS, South Park and The Last Guardian have both been delayed in a kind of funny way. The Last Guardian was delayed around the time I heard when South Park was originally going to be released, and South Park has been delayed to be even further out. It's like, oh, interesting. Personally, I don't think The Last Guardian is ever going to come out in any fashion that people are going to be happy about, so there's no real reason to be too concerned about it. So, like, I just don't think it's going to be a game that's that interesting.
On with the show.
South Park, on the other hand, that Oculus nostrils thing they made, that was like a device you stuck on your nose and would put fart smells on your face. They actually made one of those, and I thought that was just a gag they were doing. I don't think they're going to sell it or anything, but they actually made one. South Park's going to come out, almost certainly, but I'm not going to play it. Like, as far as the line goes,
with the show.
would much rather play something like Honey Pop or even a like all text-based Japanese romance novel that I would have to read out and I would have to censor a bunch of content. I'd much rather do all of that than force myself to try and enjoy the comedy of South Park, which I've just never been into it. I didn't get into it when it first came out. I've never watched much of it. I see bits and clips every now and then. I'm not completely ignorant of it. I've tried to watch a couple of clips and it's just like, this isn't my style. I certainly see why other people would like it, but it's just not for me. And it really goes back to like Strong Bad's super cool game for attractive people. That's another great example of a game that I'm sure people enjoyed that, but I'd have a real difficult time playing through, and I did. Some other ridiculous news, I guess it's not BS per se, but the Resident Evil 7 demo has been updated to have more things in them. And this seems a little silly to me. They're trying to keep interest up, but they're wasting development time on something that's not even in the game. It's kind of crazy.
I want to cast a spell.
Let's see, deal that much damage. I could cast this right now and get this one up one more, but I won't. Yeah, why they're putting stuff in there, they should just be working on the game. And my ultimate fear with any Resident Evil game, particularly since I just ran into Resident Evil 4 not being playable at all on my computer, which honestly I should just get a refund for that game, but I don't want to.
Someday I'll be just
And I
like
don't think I
you.
spent that much money on it, so.
Spells are fun. So fun.
Do I want to do 1 damage to this character? No, I don't think so. So, I'm iffy that the Resident Evil 7 game isn't going to be a fun game. The list of games that are actually playable and fun in the Resident Evil series is rather shockingly low compared to the number of games they've made. Really, really low. Like RE4, you can't say it's playable on the PC. RE5, alright, maybe that will be playable on the PC, and because of that, we'll be able to I would be able to say something
Tonight,
about that game.
a tale of
but
terrible tragedy.
You are not prepared!
let's see, summon a 1/2 Azeroth. There we go. So, yeah, Resident Evil 6 is pretty much garbage from what I've heard. And I haven't even played it myself, so. Resident Evil 1 is too old, Resident Evil 2 is too old, Resident Evil 3 is too old. So, yeah. They're certainly milking that series with all its spin-offs, and all the spin-offs are mostly garbage. So don't work on the demo, work on the game. They're trying to hype here, and that's not what they need to do. The biggest hype ever will be that RE7 comes out and it's great. Because that would be the shocking thing. Dear Esther is being made into a stage play. So Dear Esther is kind of almost the originator of the walking simulator phrase.
Someday I'll be just like you.
And I haven't played through it, but it only takes like an hour or two to play. And so I was going to eventually get around to playing that. I think I own it, but I may not. and it's being made into a stage play.
I wield
What
the power.
this makes an interesting question for me is, do I think something being made into a stage play will get enough people's attention that it would get me even one more view? And I'm not sure it really would. But then again, it is an excuse to play a game, and any excuse to play a game is a good excuse to play a game. So that
I wield
I'll
the
try to
power.
see if I can wait till there's a date associated with it, because getting the announcement right now that something's being made into a stage play doesn't actually mean anything to me. We need an actual date.
You're in trouble now.
So let's see, what else do we have? Speaking of RE4 and it's not running on PC, apparently BioShock Remastered, the first game, has some PC problems. Now, the PC problems, it's kind of a weird thing though, because I'm not sure how many actual people actually are seeing these problems themselves. And if those people aren't actually just complaining about problems the game always had. Like, they're talking mouse and keyboard control issues, which I think was an issue there. I think maybe BioShock originally had some DRM in it, which is always unacceptable. Stuff like little things that you may not care about, things that may not even be noticed.
I want to
I-
cast a spell.
I certainly watched Jim Sterling play through the first few minutes of it, and it seems perfectly fine. I've launched the game myself in the remastered form and looked at it. It doesn't immediately crash, but it might be that in an hour or two of recording the series, I just start crashing and can't power through it and have to end the series.
Once upon a time.
So this puts me in a weird position because I need to record it right now. I need to get it out in about 2 weeks. I don't have the 30-day buffer to do if it gets content ID'd. I don't have. If I do get it all the way through, I can. I intended for BioShock to be part of the games that were in the Halloween month series.
Spells so fun. So fun.
So if I don't actually release it in the time it's supposed to come out, Assassin's Creed is going to air during Halloween, and that's going to be a problem. But then I guess I have two options here. I could either play the original game, or I could play the remaster, because they are separate games. So maybe I could just like play the remaster for a while, and then if it starts crashing, saying, well, I'll go to the original game, and we'll do that. That could be an incredibly large amount of time wasted, but maybe I could just move the save file over. There are some new things in the remastered version. In fact, the remastered version visually is just new things as much as it is polished. They changed 3D models, they added all kinds of plants and animal life to it. Sadly, the one thing they didn't fix, at least as far as I've seen anybody report on, is they didn't fix the final boss battle. Which, you know, it wouldn't take too much to just turn that into a cutscene and skip it, but then why bother even? So I'm cautiously going to try and play BioShock. Hopefully it works fine for me. If it doesn't work well for other people, sorry, but hopefully it works fine for me. After the Halloween month, I'm thinking of doing a No Monster November. I've been thinking about like thematic type things that I could do for November. Particular December, there's literally nothing in December except for like Fruitcake Day that isn't related to the holidays. If it's not related to Christmas or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah, it's not in December. So, and there just aren't that many Christmas things in video games. There really aren't. Alright, so I've also been working on editing, and I'm going to point it out here, but I need to start learning to be able to end recordings and then combine them with a second recording as I take a break, because I'm going to have to take a break right now, and I shouldn't point it out. I should just hit stop at some awkward point, stop talking, stop like that, and then start recording again, and then start talking again, like something like that. And I'm gonna try it here as an experiment. Going quiet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're back. You may notice that the mouse is in a different place, and if you can read the clock, I can't even really read it. It is moved forward several minutes. Let's get back to playing. So those kind of jump cuts are the things that I need to get better at doing. I've been pretty bad in the past of just pausing the game and saying, I'm going to take a break now and I'll edit it back. And if I was going to do this professionally, if I was going to try and edit it, I would do a jump cut. Frankly, though,
Protect the wild.
everybody on YouTube does jump cuts, and if you know anything about production of video, you immediately recognize, oh yeah, the reason why the characters are, particularly when you're talking straight to the screen, they're just cutting out all the ums, the uhs, the awkward pauses, the phones ringing, the airplanes going overhead, all of that. And every bit of extra work that goes into doing some of that stuff is just energy and time taken away from actually recording games, and there's too many games to play. So maybe I'll just be silent in videos and do it. I have the MP4 joiner program that I use and Splitter, which allows me to split and join videos without re-rendering them, which is very helpful because it doesn't take but a few minutes versus hours and hours. So that part of the goal is that's definitely something I want to use more of. So yeah, I was thinking no monster in November. I don't know if that really is going to work. I'm thinking like Stardew Valley in November sounds good. Darkest Dungeon I should play, but that doesn't really work well with just getting away from monsters as far as that, and as far as all the ones you're going to cover in Halloween video games. Sadly, you're going to kind of run into monsters no matter what you do.
Can I light your fire?
So, saying a no monster November is kind of ridiculous. You can do anything no in November. You can do no shave November. You can say like no comedy November. It doesn't really matter what the middle word is, and it would still work. Maybe I should just do an average November, but I do want to kind of try to veer away from doing super scary horror games during this period. So I need this to hit this twice. Ideally, one more hit. Darn it. Oh well.
Cooking time.
Again, December, I think I already talked about this, and I just don't have any idea about December. I saw an interesting thing in Wikipedia about December, talking about how it was the 10th month because they didn't actually have months for January and February. And when they added January and February, December already had been called December, so there was no good way to change its name.
Cooking time.
So then they just added 2 months at the front, and that's why December starts with deck as in 10, and yet it's the 12th month. So I did do the Hearthstone welcome bundle thing, spent $5 on that, and I got about 200 views for the announcement of it coming out. And so far I've gotten about 100 views on actually opening the packs. It is very, very important to recognize that 100 views, even 100 views, compared to any of my other Hearthstone episodes, is probably about 98 more views
Cooking time.
than I would normally get. My Hearthstone channels, like all my videos, as far as I can see on the analytics, unless I get views like sneakily in small batches, so maybe Hearthstone episode 1 now has like 100 views because it gets 1 view a week, and I only look at the last 7 days, so it never gets into that top 20 of videos there. Maybe that's the case. I seriously don't know. But I bet if I went and looked at Hearthstone episode 1, that is probably not very many views. And I think I labeled that one as a tutorial and just how to play the game and how the game works. So that's something to also to consider.
A tale of glorious redemption.
Someday I'll be just like you.
So let's see.
Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted.
So yeah, when I do announcement videos, when I get do pack opening videos, anything relevant, any video relevant at all, it gets more views, particularly on Hearthstone. So that's why I do those.
Time for a little blood.
I saw an interview with Crippen and talking about how he asking him questions about Hearthstone, preparing him. A famous Twitch streamer who plays Hearthstone, and he says he still loves the game. I don't think I can make that same argument. I think I'm kind of never was super in love with Hearthstone in the first place, and had some frustrating decisions in how they change cards and do things, make decisions, and on top of all of that, it's just like
On with the show.
they are kind of money grubby. They give you solo adventures when they should just give us new expansions. The new cards they do give us are often garbage. There's a lot to complain about, and a lot I have complained about Hearthstone, so I don't know if I particularly say I love it. But it gets me views, and if this channel kind of needs to, at some point in the future, be financially viable. I'm getting about $1 in ad revenue every round 7 days. That's way better than the penny I was getting for the first couple of months in a week. But I'm still not making anywhere near a realistic thing. And if I am gonna have a realistic experience, I need to make money and have videos that make views. This is all a very long way to get to this conversation, which I'm going to do another recording even though I've done all the quests. It may be a shorter one. Someone put on as a comment on my video when I'm doing either the announcement video for the welcome bundle or things, just STF up, shut the F up. You don't know anything about Hearthstone. That produced 2 responses. One, that person is now blocked from making any comments ever whatsoever, and I should have flagged him for abusiveness too, but I didn't get around to it. So next person that puts something like that will probably get flagged as abusive. Therefore, if they have a YouTube account with any videos on it, their YouTube account might very well get deleted, and then that's gonna hurt them badly, and it will potentially, in the tiniest way possible, maybe help me if people who put abusive comments on YouTube also have YouTube channels and they lose their YouTube channels. There's less videos on YouTube, my videos rise up. That's a very odd way to get more views, but it certainly could happen, and that is why you wouldn't want to go do this. I assume whoever put this though is a little kid or just a troll, whatever. But he isn't wrong. I don't know anything about Hearthstone. Nobody does. When there's a new announcement, it comes directly from Hearthstone. There's only one person that adds anything to Hearthstone. I have no secret agents working in Blizzard. I have no friends that give me information. I'm not capable, and I don't think anyone is probably capable, because it's all always done in updates of, I can't look at the code of the game and see what's coming down the line. So yeah, totally, the announcement comes from Blizzard always, and I just repeat what I read in the announcements, and sometimes I get it wrong, but you're right, I don't know anything extra than that. Everything else is just an opinion, my opinion, whether Hearthstone is good, whether they're making the right decisions or not. It's just an opinion, but I won't be shutting up. This is my channel, and I am definitely going to keep making Hearthstone videos because they're the ones that get the views. That if you want me to stop making Hearthstone videos, get over 100 people to watch my other series. Make it seem like I make more, not seem, but make it true that I make more money playing retrospective games and all of that. If all my other videos got more than 100 views, if they got like 1,000 views, I could easily at that point say, you know what, I'll give up on Hearthstone. But until then, Hearthstone's the moneymaker, and I've got to keep it, even if I don't want to keep it, which I kind of don't. It would certainly be a difficult one to quit with the quest system and the gold and all of that. That being said, we have enough gold to start to do a 50 card pack opening for the next expansion, and I probably could start doing arena runs too. Maybe we'll have a little fun in the next recording. Yeah, let's do an arena run. I guess that would work. Anywho, that's gonna be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.